Good morning. Good morning. This is Loretta Brown with the original Loretta Brown Show. And for you people that are visual on YouTube, we were having a dance in.
I feel like it was our
Yeah.
best intro of all time. It's almost like you start out like a music video.
Yeah.
We'll see you on like
Yeah.
MTV or on the
Yeah.
music channel.
Yeah.
So we should keep it going
I
next
would.
time.
I've always wanted to do one of those videos, like that guy that like dances and he's in front of the Eiffel Tower and then he's in front of the cow and then he's in front of, and he's got all these people dancing with him.
So what's stopping you? You should do that. I mean, just do your little intro right there and just go in front of the Space Needle. That's not very far from you, and maybe over at another location.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I was kind of laughing. I was teaching Reiki master class, last week, and you know how you get a song stuck in your head, right?
Nope, never haven't. Never, ever, ever. Nope.
Right. So what was going on was I was like, "Mm, mm, this is how we do it.
Oh,
Mm."
nice.
Right. And so we were all giggling about what if we went to the mall with our Reiki master shirts on and just took people down. And I go, I don't think it actually works like that.
Everyone's a fan
Like,
of Montel Jordan, though, so you can break that.
yeah, really. It's like, come on, get your healing. Let's do this thing. Anyway,
I'm looking for it
I,
right now.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jen. That's how it is sometimes. So anyway, hello everybody. Welcome to the original Loretta Brown Show radio to open the heart, heal the soul, and awaken the consciousness. And sometimes I do hope we put a smile on your face because I feel like it's one of the best things that we could do. And
I think we have to, Loretta, only because this is how we do it.
oh yeah, that was
Just
it.
like
That's
that.
perfect.
Bang, bang, bang.
Uh, and besides that, it's my birthday last week.
That's
Mhm.
right. So
It's
how
my
was the big
birthday.
25?
25 was really, really fun.
Great.
And basically, I took the day off. And then Master Chef, my wonderful son, made me peach pie, brought peach pie over as a surprise. And we had peach pie, and it was delicious. So I did get a lot of birthday wishes. And so I just, from my heart to all of yours, thank you so much. Thank you. It's good to celebrate our presence on planet Earth
And
and
probably a
wherever
little
else.
more and then probably a little more in person too, yeah?
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah, that's always a bonus.
absolutely. Absolutely. So, anyway, I got a great show coming up. I do want to do a little check in with astrology because we had this great big, huge Libra full moon last weekend. I'm just going to send everybody a lot of love. And, you know, Libra is about balance. That's all it is. It's just about balance. So, when there's a full moon, sometimes it reveals where we're out of balance. And so some people have been kind of rocking and rolling for a while. The energies are pretty strong right now. Since the beginning of March, that was last month, and especially as we entered into Aries season and came into April, there's been this really strong forward moving Aries fiery energy. And fire actually can be good. It's inspiration, passion, good things like that. But it can also be aggressive or angry, or sometimes it's, I don't know, tell me all the time, like, I don't know. I don't know what to do, Loretta. I feel like, like the fire is going to come out of my throat. And, maybe sometimes that's a good thing. And then sometimes it's destructive. So remember, it's about balance. It's also about mastery, right? So now the energies are shifting because April 9th, April 20th, right? Which is this week, we move out of Aries into Taurus. And Taurus is such a great energy. It's a grounded energy. It's earth. It's going to slow us down. We're going to be able to take all the seeds of inspiration that we planted under the Aries sun and begin caring for them and growing them, nurturing them, helping them to grow. So I hope you planted good seeds. And if you didn't, it's okay, right? Because when we attend to growth, sometimes we do adjust a little bit, let's put it that way. Taurus season supports us creating a routine, being methodical in our work, and lots and lots and lots of self-care. Make time for pleasure in your life. It is about balance. So take a look at your long-term goals. If you're feeling zapped out, if you're not happy with what's going on, the Taurus energy will help you ground and re-find your balance. And one of the gifts and lessons that Taurus teaches us is owning our worth and acknowledging how valuable we really are. Some of the mantras or chants that you can say during Taurus season, and actually anytime, are I am worthy. I am born worthy. I need nothing outside of myself to claim how worthy I am. Things like these, if we begin to talk to ourselves with love and kindness, we become our own best friend. We actually can change our internal landscape and our external world. They are in alignment with each other. So stand in the power of these words, knowing that you do have power in you to change your world, and acknowledge the value that you bring to the world simply by being you, which I think is one of the biggest challenges on planet Earth, right? Because everything around you is trying to mold you into something else. Be prepared that we are, or excuse me, be aware that we are being prepared for eclipse season, which begins right at the end of April. The first eclipse of 2022 is April 30th, falls in the sign of Taurus. And at the same time as this eclipse, Venus, the planet of love, the ruling planet of Taurus, aligns with Jupiter, the planet of expansion. This is a positive omen. It indicates bright new opportunities and silver linings. And if the month has been challenging, this eclipse energy offers a ray of sunshine. In between now and then, be aware that Venus, the goddess of love, aligning with Neptune in Pisces on April 28th, will bring in, get ready for it, the energy for romance, creativity, and spiritual growth. What? So recharge by the water, spend time with loved ones, and do lots of self-care and self-love. I can't think of a better way to bring my guest in today. I have Jen Ward, who I've had before. I adore Jen. She is just so in my heart. Jen's extraordinary and challenging personal journey has gifted her with a unique ability to see and remove the blockages to happiness and effectiveness that exist within each of us, and the impediments to harmony or performance that exist within a team. Jen is a dynamic healer. She's an executive coach. She's the author of many books. I don't know, 20. I don't actually know. Yeah. Including the SFT Lexicon, which you just need to get, and her new book, Jenuine Poetry for Life, Poems to Uplift Humanity. This book is a compilation of spiritual truth and artwork from Jen Ward, with chapter introductions from Marvin Schneider, her soulmate. Yes, I said that. This book is a beautiful outcome of the synergy of two souls that came together with the purest intention to uplift all of humanity. And it is possible by immersing yourself in this book to express the love and respect Jen and Marvin have for all of humanity as well as each other. Welcome to the show, Jen. It's so good to have you here.
Good to have you. I love listening to your horoscopes. They were so poignant because I don't know if you know this, but I'm getting married on the 29th. So
Woo!
I'm listening, and the 28th sounds wonderful because our wedding is soulmates. So we do it as a surrogate for uplifting all of God.
Wow.
And man union.
Yeah, no, this is so fortuitous, as we say, right? Yeah, Venus, the goddess of love, aligns with Neptune in Pisces. And Neptune's the ruler of Pisces, and everybody's at home. A great big huge celebration of love. Wow.
It's interesting because it's like we get married in our home, and it's just very simple and stuff, and I've been opening up creativity, so thank you for that. And I was wondering, why this date? It doesn't seem like a special number or anything, so you just You just gave me my answer, so thank you very much.
You're so welcome. And I'll definitely put it on my calendar. I know that I have another interview with you out there, and people can really find that in the archives. Remember that all my shows are archived in the KKNW archives for the original Loretta Brown show, and there are literally hundreds of shows there. But I interviewed you last fall sometime. I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly the date, but it was in there.
I
It was
remember.
great.
I remember because Benny's boys were just going into, I think, 5th grade. So it was a big deal. It was their first week of school or something.
Yeah, it was back there. So if you could just introduce yourself a little bit to the listening audience who may not know who you are, and just a little bit about what you do, how you got into what you do, and also where you're living on planet Earth from. It's a lot. It's a big question. It's a big question.
It's so weird doing interviews because I don't like talking about myself, but there's so much to say. So I've been on this earth a few decades, and I think of my time on earth as research just to help other people, because I think I've experienced every kind of pain and anguish that the human condition can offer, which is kind of great for other people, because when someone comes to me with an issue, I can relate to them. So in my private sessions, I have this new private session where they're just a few minutes with me, and then they do some of the research and the taps on their own, the SFT tapping. I developed this protocol, and so people can become their own dynamic healer. If they don't trust anybody, a lot of people don't, you're not a dime a dozen out there, Missy. There's not too many people out there that people can really trust and feel at heart with. And it's like you're one of the few. So if people are afraid to trust from the heart, they can use my protocol so they don't have to trust someone else. And they can find it on my website at genuinehealing.com. That's free. There's my Jen and the Jammies with Marvin, my soulmate. I thought this thing didn't exist, and so now I am experiencing love the way it was meant to be. And a lot of the poetry in my poetry book are love poems and sometimes erotic poems to Marvin. So yeah.
I try to figure out how to show it without it fading into my background.
Yeah,
right?
Just showing a little bit. Yeah. Thank you. And so I was reading. Marvin says I'm all over the place when I interview, because I am. I'm exponential.
You're fine. You're just fine. I'll pull you in. I'll pull you in.
Thank you. If anybody likes Khalil Gibran, I was reading Khalil Gibran the other day, and I thought I could have wrote this. So if you like Khalil Gibran's poetry, you might enjoy this, because it's about searching for truth and the pain and anguish, the dichotomy of joy and pain and all of that.
Yeah. I'm going to jump in and I'm going to fill in, just pull you in a little bit, because I adore you and I totally get what's going on over there. For the listeners, and forgive me, Jen, I'm just going to fill in a little bit.
Thank you. No, I appreciate it.
Yeah, Jen Ward comes from an amazing background where she endured a lot of pain and trauma. And I'm a firm believer, Jen, that these are our initiatory passages. Mm-hmm. And I've been through some of that too. And when we come out the other end of this, because it isn't about being in the trauma, it's about being out the other side. And a true healer, in my opinion, you are the real deal. And it's because you can only take people where you've been. So if you're stuck in a darkness of something somewhere, you cannot take people into the light. And you are all about the heart, the light, raising humanity, and helping all of us show up, is how I'm going to say it. And it's scary. I know everybody listening can relate to vulnerability and, oh my goodness, what if I show up and my heart's open? What might happen? I might get hurt, right? And so we do all of these things in order to avoid that. But in process somewhere, and I do want to bring forward into the show the SFT lexicon, because it's such a great book. It's to me needed. And SFT stands for the Spiritual Freedom Technique, which is very different than the emotional freedom technique that a lot of people do with tapping. And in this technique, which you and I talked about at length in my last show, there's tapping that occurs. And so before we get too far into the poetry, I just want to take like 1 minute for you to talk about that tapping. And I myself did a session with you, which is out there. People can go watch it. And it's the real deal. So just like real briefly, what is that spiritual freedom technique? How did that come to you?
So you have to excuse me for crying, but people who are listening are releasing right now, and
Yes,
you're
they are.
actually releasing as well. So
I am.
Excuse me for.
Yeah,
so
when I talk with you, I just start crying, and so I'm holding it together.
Yeah, and I think it's wonderful to cry like that, so I'm fine with it. But I don't want the listeners or the viewers to think, something. Now, I'm not a person who has been given a voice in this lifetime. I'm the youngest of an, 10 alcoholic, big. There was no point. I just sat back and watched, and I would talk to my spirit guides, trees, whatever, and they would keep me sane, and they would give me the love that I wasn't getting. And they taught me these taps that I learned how to do tapping and like body talk. If anyone knows what that is, but I took it to the umph level. And so the adepts told me how to formulate that, to take it way past anything anyone else was doing here. Because the emotions are great, but they're low on the survival skills as opposed to the mental and past issues and all this stuff. So they taught me how to formulate these taps so you actually can literally, and I know how to use the word literally, get your energy back that someone has taken from you. Imagine someone who's been raped or violated or stalked, and they just don't feel whole, or a nasty divorce. The reason those things are happening is because you have a piece of each other in energy, and those need to be resolved. So this is a beautiful, beautiful technique for anyone to be able to create that resolve for themselves and for those they love and for the planet with just this technique, because you're tapping into your higher self, which I call your inner Gandhi. Look how Gandhi shifted the world. We all have that capability, but we don't have the tool. So the SFT lexicon is a way to tap into your inner Gandhi so you can make the changes for your own life and those around you without being manipulative or negative, just getting back the love, releasing the pain. It's really profound. I'm really honored to be associated with it, actually.
Yeah, and I also want the listeners to understand that they can watch. There's I think hundreds of sessions you've done with people, and when you watch these sessions, if you tap along with them, you will release, you will shift, you will change, because Jen, in my opinion, you carry it's a transmissible energy that actually anytime that someone watches something that you're doing, the energy of that is like in the now moment, right? Yeah.
Thank you for knowing that. And
Yeah.
I see that in you as well. So that's why I feel like a sister with you. So thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to start crying again. Here we go.
You want to hear something really funny though?
Sure.
So I've been working all these years to put out stuff to help people shift and everything. Marvin, while I'm sleeping, Marvin did this little dragon sound healing video where he just makes his dragon sounds, which are powerful, and he just doesn't say anything. And that one gets more views than anything else, is Marvin's dragon sound healing. It's so funny.
Well, yeah, there is something about dragons. I have this thing with dragons, and yeah, there is definitely. I've heard him do that on some of the videos with you where
Do you see,
you're. Mhm.
do you see our wedding
I
videos?
do. I see
The
it.
dragon.
Oh, that's so fascinating. Hmm.
Oh, by the way, just so you know, in case it wasn't clear, I just figured out after all these years that I have had my whole life dealing with all this abuse, Asperger's, the whole full-blown thing. That's why I couldn't speak as a child, and that's why I couldn't relate to other people. So yeah, you might be sensing that in how I move around and I'm not focused, but
That's a good thing to give people some sort of context for that. Yeah.
yeah.
I
Well,
totally get that.
well, it would have been nice to know years ago, but
Yeah, definitely. So, I would like to know how your Genuine Poetry for Life book came about.
well, I've been writing poetry since I was a little girl. I mean, that was one of my coping mechanisms. Um, and so I've written poetry, and then when I was a teenager, I had gobs of it. And then my mother, who never showed an interest in me, took it to this guy who did poetry, and he just railed me. I was a sensitive teenager, and he said it sucked. It's the worst stuff ever. It has no context, whatever. And I stopped doing poetry for decades. But then I brushed it off, and when you're feeling that love and higher consciousness, it just comes out. And the trees, I know this sounds so silly, but the trees are the writers of a lot of this poetry. So I'll go into the park and this tree will give me a poem and I'll just download it. And in the book, I can tell you which poems were written by which tree.
I love that. I love the trees. I do talk to the trees. I take a walk every day. The trees have all told me their names.
Good. That's awesome.
I always think it's funny when they have names like Charlie and Rose and things like that. It's like maybe they should have exotic names, and they're like, no, Fred,
That's so cool.
Yeah, it is funny. I also want the listeners to know that you are an amazing healer, an amazing intuitive, and you have the ability to read energy or see inside people. That's very rare and unique to you, right? And you are simply able to work with people. If you do a session with Jen, believe me, you don't need to tell her your whole story. She'll know what you need, right? She'll be able to help you. And we're going to keep talking. After the break, we are going to open the phone lines in case you wanted to call and talk to Jen Ward straight on, and maybe have a question. Jen, what would they be calling for? A question?
I mean, they could do, I can do a release on them. I can feel their issues and stuff, and I can give them tabs to direct them to that. I do have a message from my guides before I came on here for someone who's listening, or everyone. So a lot of people there are struggling. What should I do? Should I do this? Should I do that? And they're trying to dilute their energy by figuring out and going one way. What the guides are saying right now is do everything. You're goddess energy. We're all goddess energy, even if we're in a male body. So if you have these likes, do everything that you like without any pressure, without any judgment on yourself, but just do what you enjoy in different modalities. And that will free you up, and then that will give you direction on what to do more. Because people are trying to do it from the head. You can't do it from the head. You have to do it from the heart.
Yeah, I love that. Benny, you're going to have to help me with the phone numbers. It's been so long since I gave them out. What are the phone numbers?
Really?
Yes.
That's okay. I'm more than happy to help.
1-888.
No, you got it. Yeah, it's a rhythm. It's all good. It's 888-298-5569. And this also conveniently spells out KKNW. 888-298-5569 or 425-373-5527. Local area 425-373-5527.
Great. And we will bring callers in after the break. But if you're listening and you want to call in and have a little short conversation with Jen Morton, she could do a little releasing with you. call now and get in the queue because sometimes it can get busy and you can't get in. So those numbers, yeah, go ahead.
After the break, can I share one of my poems?
Yes, I want to hear your poems. We're going to make sure that we cover the important stuff with you and then bring on a few people that could use some help this morning. And I want to say this, it's been a long time since I gave out the numbers. I don't do it often, but I really mean this. If you're listening to our show, it's not a mistake you're listening. And if you're feeling a little sweaty palmed or a little bit like, oh gosh, what if I called? That means you're actually supposed to call, right? It actually is. It's a prompt. And I also want everyone to realize that just like when I did my session with Jen and I watched the other sessions, which makes me cry, when we do this, we help everyone. It's vulnerable, but it's so powerful and it will change your life. So please give us a call.
There's someone out there who needs to forgive themselves. They're having trouble forgiving themselves. I know that sounds vague, but it's just, they know who they are and stuff, and they don't need to be themselves. They already are.
Yeah. So this is a great time, I think, for a break. Let's take a quick station break, Benny, and we'll catch our breath. And this is Loretta Brown. I have the amazing Jen Ward on my show today, and we are taking callers. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
Cool. All clear. Still live on the YouTube.
We're still live on YouTube, Jen. Jen, I can't hardly hold it together with you. What is the deal?
It's so wonderful, and I'm a goofball because I'm doing energy work. So
I know. Well, I knew this was going to happen. It happened last time we talked, and I can't. I'll just have to cry. Sorry, everybody.
Do you know that I'm always here for you?
I know.
That's why I reach out to you, because I know what you do for other people and who does it for you. And I'm always here for you. So just message me. It's anytime.
Yeah. I always find it interesting how, you know how Facebook has got these weird algorithms, and lots of times my friends don't even pop up. But when you pop up, and I'm like, oh, there she is. And it is this little touch. It's like, there she is, right?
And I always send you loving thoughts, because it's you are so amazingly open in this harsh world. You're just so vulnerable and wonderful. Yeah. And I don't say that,
I know. My indicator is my tears, right? My emotions always tell me the truth. And so it's real. Yeah, it's real. Anyway, love to you. Love you too. Love you back.
Something is really exciting about us connecting like this. It's almost like this was preordained for lifetimes, and it's like finally they're doing it. So it's almost like marking a bench point in humanity, because that's why me and Marvin are here. We're not here for ourselves. We're here to uplift.
Yeah.
Ready to come back in?
Yep, we're ready.
All right, stand by.
Maybe.
When the evening shadows and the
Oh, that's so pretty. I just want to listen to music, Betty. Yeah, welcome back to the original Loretta Brown Show with my wonderful guest, Jen Ward, who is a dynamic healer. She's a wonderful, amazing woman and highly intuitive, a great healer. We are going to talk about her book, Jenuine Poetry for Life, Poems to Uplift Humanity. And I want to point out that when she writes the word genuine, it's Jen, like Jen, Genuine Poetry for Life. And her website also is Jenuine.
Clever.
She's very, very clever. Benny, I think we have a caller, don't we?
Yeah.
Let's take a caller, and then Jen, I want you to read some of your poetry, okay?
Okay.
All right. So let's go ahead and take a caller.
Yeah, let's do that. And if you'd like to join us, the number again is 888-298-5569 or 425-373-5527. We'll take now Laura calling in from the Seattle area. Hi, Laura.
Hi.
Hi, Laura.
Hi. So yeah, I just kind of wanted a general reading. I think I just have a hard time trusting myself in general.
It's
And yeah.
it shows in your voice. You in your voice it shows skepticism, and it's like you're really like sweet and soft on the inside, but you don't want people to know because you've been screwed over in the past. So you have these layers of protection and stuff. Can I release a little bit of that for you? Are you sensitive to energy at all?
I'm trying to be. I mean, you're making me cry right now.
Okay, good. So there you go. So this is your anger because that wall that you put up there. And by the way, when you go to job interviews or whatever, it comes up as judgment. So it's not serving you in the world and stuff. And it's not serving you in your life, except it's old protection you don't need anymore, if that makes sense. Do you want to, is it okay if I do a tap with her?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is me releasing you. There's so much. So I'm going to give you something to say. You're going to say it 3 times with tapping on your head. Everyone can do this one because it's relevant to everyone. A 4th time with tapping on your chest, and a 5th time with tapping on your abdomen. And we say we because we keep it away from the ego. We release being betrayed in all moments.
We release being betrayed in all moments. We release being betrayed. We release being betrayed in all moments. We release being betrayed in all moments. Tap chest. We release being betrayed in all moments. And tap the belly. We release being betrayed in all moments. Yeah.
Now, usually when you do the taps, I would tell you to leave a space before in all moments, but we're on a radio show, so we're speeding things up and stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I want to just explain to the audience, I hope I don't interrupt you, Jen. Jen is actually working with someone live right now and helping them release. And so the noises that she makes are part of what happens, and she processes that out. And then we're tapping. So for those listening, I'm just letting you know what's going on. For those watching, you are understanding we can tap with the person and we will release also.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why it's not, so there's more than one person releasing here.
Yes.
So here's another one that needs to be done for the caller. We remove the knife from our back in all moments.
We remove the knife from our back, all moments. We remove the knife from our back in all moments. We remove the knife from our back in all moments. The heart, we remove the knife from our back in all moments. We remove the knife from our back in all moments.
Now that sounds like a universal thing, but this was for the caller who needed that done.
Yeah.
Someone is sitting up straighter and stuff because of that.
Yeah.
They felt that shift.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have anything else you want to say to Laura, Jen?
Well, on my website, she can get learn to do the energetic cleanse from my website and do it with those 2 things I said. All your guards, feeling unsafe, and the knife in your back. And then go through, there's like 40 taps that we just did. You do them all with those subjects, and then you'll feel much better.
All right.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Laura. Blessings to you. Yeah. We're kind of in a space. Benny, can we take another caller before I have Jen read her poetry?
Sure. Yeah, I would love to do that. We'll take Celeste, who's calling in from Camano Island, which is just north of Seattle. So, hi, Celeste.
Hi, Benny.
Hi, Celeste.
Hi, Loretta. Hi, Jen.
Hi, how are you?
Very emotional right now.
Oh, yay! So you need to let go of that control, because it's very hard for you to like maintain that level of control over everyone and everything. It's just it's like a vice on you. You have to relax. You're safe to just be imperfect, and you don't have to micromanage everyone else. That's from a different time when life was more chaotic. Does that resonate?
Yes, very much so.
You want to do a tap with us?
Yes.
We release the chaos in all moments.
We release the chaos in all moments. We release the chaos in all moments. We release chaos in all moments. And now at the heart, we release the chaos in all moments. We release, and belly, we release the chaos in all moments.
So a lot of people out there seem to need reassurance that it's okay. You guys, it's okay to be vulnerable. You're not going to be energetically raped anymore. Jen and Loretta are on it. So people who are trying to energetically rape you are not able to anymore, because people like us, if there are other people like us, I know Marvin is, are out there protecting your sovereignty so you can grow spiritually. This is a different time. So let's do this tap for everyone. You are safe to be vulnerable in all moments.
Over the head. You are safe to be vulnerable in all moments. You are safe to be vulnerable in all moments. You are safe to be vulnerable in all moments. At the heart, you are safe to be vulnerable in all moments. And at the belly, you are safe to be vulnerable in all moments.
So while you guys are doing the tap, I'm going out there and I'm hugging millions of battered babies. So if you can do anything for someone, if you want a technique to help others, just go to them in their baby body, because there is no time and space. And everyone's a wounded child unless they're completely healed. So go to them when they were in a crib or when they needed the love, and just drench them with your kisses and cuddles, and they will get that. And you can absolve a lot of your own conflicts with people by just drenching them as babies with kisses and cuddles.
Okay.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, Celeste. Bathing you in love, bathing you in love. Angels. Thanks for calling in, honey. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Everybody take a deep breath. It gives you a little idea about Jen Ward, and I don't know if we'll have time for one more caller. I'll give the number out one more time, and then Jen, I want to hear some of your poetry, okay? So the number, if you want to call in, is 1-888-298-5569 or 425-373-5527, and you will have a little mini kiss from Jen Ward if you call in. And Loretta, always, right? Anyway, Jen, I just love your poetry so much. This, I don't even know how many, there's like 300 pages in this book. This is a worthy poetry book, and you have this book broken down into sections. Can you talk about the sections of the book?
Sure. Well, Marvin is the one who structures stuff. As you can see, I'm like all over the place. I'm in like a million places at once, literally. And so Marvin's the genius behind structuring it. And he interprets what the poetry, what my life has been like. And he gives the reader a bridge to what it's like to be me, and how it's like to try to function in this world with all these gifts and I thought I was mainstream. Marvin's the one who sat me down and said, no, you are not mainstream. You are not normal. So, but his genius is in that book. And he's the one who encouraged me to draw little sketches to convey the poetry. But then I dusted off my art skills and I realized I didn't lose it. So I drew some pictures that were poignant and took pictures and poignant and to bring the reader even more in the moment with the poem. So there's poetry and writings to depict it and stuff.
Yeah. So it's in sections. It's very easy to digest. There's a great table of contents with the titles of everything. But Jen, what would you like to share with us today?
There's actually a couple poems that I think might be inspirational. Well, I think that a lot of them are, but I picked a couple, if that's okay.
Yeah.
This is Love's Appeal. Tell me I don't matter. Tell me you don't care. Tell me it's all bullshit, that you're not really there. Tell me there's no freedom, that everything's a lie. Carelessly chuckle and walk away as you watch me die. Or tell me there is purpose in all we say and do. Give me reason to believe in love, in life, in you. Plant a garden with your words. Make each day a song. Give all a reason to hope. Tell us we belong. Give all purpose, don all truths. Make all scenarios win-win. From the ashes of defeat, sprouts of providence begin. See peace when others envision war. Take advantage when others spout loss. Risk vulnerability and feeling raw. Show kindness at all costs. Encourage, enlighten, visualize, evolve. Empathize, appreciate, heal. Cater to one's sense of higher self to deliver love's appeal. Doesn't really matter what you say or do, as long as you act from the depth of love and know that place is you.
That's beautiful.
You like it?
Yeah. One of the things I love about your poetry is I could have written it. It's very relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm looking for the other poem.
Absolutely.
The next one you're gonna like this because a tree wrote it. So it was a gift to me because there was a grove of trees that were slated to be cut down. I didn't know, but this tree was talking to me at the end. He was covered. He was different than the others. It was maple. He was covered with vines and stuff. And over a few months, he called me over to cut off his vines. And one weekend when I was away, they cut down all the other trees and they left him. Now, because he had the vines off of him and he looked normal, they didn't cut him down. And so I kind of saved his life. So one day I was going in the house and I felt this energy like 50 feet tall behind me. And then this poem came into me and it was his gift to me. And this one's in the Chicken Soup of the Soul series and stuff. And this started me really breaking through with the writing. It's called One Little Human. One little human fallen away from the pack can restore hope to the world, bring humanity back. One little human stepping away from the crowd can feel the anguish of the multitudes and voice it out loud. One little human, scarred and nearly broken, can take joy, truth, and love where it's never been spoken. One little human, abiding by love's creed, can heal the whole world. Let's wish it Godspeed. One little human, it may very well be you, can show all other humans what they are able to do.
That's beautiful.
That was a gift from a tree.
Wow. That's absolutely beautiful. Years ago, I lived in Saudi Arabia and I taught music to kids, I know. And we used to sing a song called One Little Candle. One little candle burning bright. Yeah. And I was thinking about that when you were talking. So our light, I think, sometimes goes out, doesn't it, Jane? Or it gets really low.
Well, Yours and
And
mine doesn't, but some people feel like theirs does. But
yeah,
their autopilot can be lit back up really easy. It's easy for us because we love so
yeah,
much. We can just ignite them with our love and release the stuff with no judgment. Because I don't know people. I don't know you, so how can I judge you? And
yeah.
we just go in there and release the pain as if it was my own, and then it's gone. And yeah.
I also think that, like I said, sometimes we have to reach out to figure out where can we draw from the well, right? Like where can we get lifted up or drink from something that's meaningful. And I'm just saying that this poetry that you've written to me has that
Thank you.
nurturing quality to it. Like, yeah. So
Well,
the
that's
book
what-
we're talking about, Genuine Poetry for Life, Poems to Uplift Humanity by Jen Ward. Go ahead, Jen.
So that's why I thought coming on your show would be so important, because you actually do that as a person. You show up as that nurturing place for people when there is hardly anywhere to show up these days. So yeah, if my book does it for people, that's great, because the people who don't trust even another person because they've been so destroyed, they need to be built back up, and that's what we're here to do.
Yeah. Now, I want you to talk just a little bit, Marvin the Marvelous is in your books. That's what I call him.
I call him that too, I guess.
So, do you? Sorry, Marvin.
Yeah.
Anyway, but your energies are so compatible. How did the two of you meet? And I'm going to just say, spoiler alert too, because the intro to your poetry book, I think Marvin actually shares the story about the two of you coming together.
He can share it in words much better than I can. And I can't even understand myself when I listen back to things. So apologies,
Sure.
but he was in Australia. I'm in New York at that time. So we're on the other side of the world. We can go like this, and we're like on the opposite sides of the world. He was listening to another podcast, and he ran into me. And it was just random. And then he said, "Holy shit, she's the real deal." And then he signed up for a session, and it didn't come for like 6 weeks or something. And he prepared and he listened to every podcast he could on what I had done. And he was well prepared and everything. And so he had really intimate dreams with me before his session. And it kind of intrigued me. And so after his session, I did something I've never done. I said, "Can you chat a little bit?" And so we started chatting, and we've been chatting every day since.
That's so wonderful. It's really a wonderful story because I think sometimes people are afraid to put themselves out, whatever that means.
Of course.
And I suppose you can stay in the corner in your house, but you're never going to find your treasure, right? So you guys got out there, and of course it's meant to be, and you've been apart for a long, long time, lifetimes.
900 years. And he's still living it down.
Yeah. I also love the fact that you're both dedicated to uplifting humanity.
Well, that's how we knew that we were connected, because I had this dream of having a healing force. I was starting a genuine healing force in America, and he has the same vision, but we had different halves of the same vision. So he wanted to be sustainable food and community and love and everything that I didn't know how to provide. So we're bringing those two together. And the genuine healing forest I started in America is now in Vermont, in the center of Vermont, and it's growing fine. And we're going to start our own healing property here. But in a past lifetime, I had been putting seeds out. Can I talk about past lives? Is that okay?
Yes, yeah,
So
absolutely.
in a past lifetime, I know who I was in a past lifetime. This was my work. I'm just continuing my work. I was Madame Blavatsky. And it's really interesting because where I grew up was where her first book was published, even though she's from Russia. Her first book was published in my hometown, Rochester, New York. And she talked about Rochester, New York in her first edition of one of her books, Isis Unveiled or whatever. And she said how that was going to be a portal for all this higher consciousness to come into the world and uplift consciousness. And that's basically what I've been doing in Rochester for the last 14 years. And
Wow.
she talked about Australia as being like a second Lemuria, basically. And that's what we're doing, is we're creating this spiritual center that can sustain time and space and be a portal for everyone to come and uplift consciousness, even if they can't get there physically, but they can get there in energy and be with us.
Wonderful. That's just so great. In your book, at the end of the book, you talk in the book about the cause initiative,
Mm-hmm.
which could you just very briefly, what is the cause initiative?
The cause initiative, well, Marvin's dream before he even met me was to uplift all of business, because business is a driving force for uplifting all of the consciousness. So his vision, I've been doing it with individuals. Marvin is this genius with business, and he has an overview of how businesses have to make themselves serve humanity. They can make profit. Nothing's wrong with profit. Profit's good, but to do that at the cost of humanity and everything, it's a huge problem. So Marvin is able to do what I do for individuals. He can do for businesses. So we're working together to. COS stands for commerce, assisting to uplift society exponentially.
Ah, I love it. Yeah. I actually think it's vitally important, as we move forward into, I don't know what you want to call it. People use all these words like, the age of Aquarius and 5D, and it's a raising up process, right?
Yeah. And it's so subtle because people are expecting to be saved from this alien race or being saved from some kind of apocalypse and stuff. No, we're doing it. We're saving humanity where we are. Each one of us, when you share your gifts, when you're kind to others, we are the eyes of God. God, the collective is the eyes of God. And when you smile at someone, you change their brain chemistry and you uplift their consciousness. And you're being an instrument for all of God when you do that.
Yeah. So where do people find you, and what kind of sessions can they have with you?
Ooh, a really thorough one is like an hour session, which is like they don't even have to tell me anything. I go so deep that their issues are addressed, and those are like a whole hour. And then I have these mini sessions where they write to me what the issue is, because a lot of people want to tell me what their issue is, even though I know. And so I give them the core issues, teach them how to do the SFT tabs as homework. And if they can't get it, that's fine. And then we meet for like 10, 15 minutes. And then I release everything and help them do the tabs. And I send them on their way so they can do this tab. They have this tool for lifetime now that they can take care of themselves. So
What wonderful.
Yeah.
What is your website?
Thank you. Jenuine, Marvin, thanks you for keeping me on point. Jenuinehealing.com with it.
Right. Jenuinehealing.com, and you can find all kinds of information about Jen Ward there. You can buy the book off of there, Genuine
and
Poetry.
And the SFT Lexicon, which is a textbook for life that'll give you that tool for life that you'll have, and you'll have all the protocols that I use to help people. The other thing is the YouTube channel.
Yes.
I don't remember, is that Jen Ward or Genuine Healing?
I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up. Hold
I
on.
think
No, I probably have it here. Hold on. Give me just 1 second. YouTube channel is Genuine Healing.
Thank you.
Genuine
I'll
Healing.
remember
The SF Lexicon, Book a Private Healing Session, and genuinehealing.com. But check out everything that Jen Ward does. It's been so great to have you on the show today. And from my heart to yours, so much love. Yeah. So Loretta Brown here, and everybody have a great week.
Loretta.
Oh,
we
wait.
have to
what?
wish her happy and congratulations.
Oh, happy congratulations. By the way, Jen, I realized your wedding is occurring just between that Venus, Neptune, Pisces thing and the first eclipse.
Yes.
And
that's
that
what you told us.
it's so auspicious. So much love to you guys. Congratulations.
But it's for the world. We're gonna videotape that. It's gonna be out there for everyone to watch.
It'll be on your YouTube. All right.
Mhm.